Hi everyone, welcome back, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Monise and I am currently going through a ton of furniture flips for our home that we will be hopefully moving into within the next few months or so. Today I'm finally tackling one of our dining chairs. We found these chairs and a table with 3 leaves on Facebook Marketplace for $150. I love the design of it and it reminded me of a Moroccan style that I really love with a touch of mid-century modern. I didn't love the orange tone of the wood and the fabric was really dated and smelled awful with some stains, so I want to change those two things to make it our own. Tigger wanted to do some investigating, so he came outside while I was making some clips for this video. So the first thing I did was remove the chair cushions. It came off pretty easily. The next thing I did was remove all the staples to take off the black mesh that is always under these types of cushions. It smelled pretty bad, so it was washed and air dried for later use. So this cushion had fabric along the edges that I had to remove as well. It was really satisfying removing it and never using it again because it was just disgusting, old, used, had never been cleaned before, and I was ready to get rid of it. I definitely should have counted how many staples I removed because I'm pretty sure it was within the hundreds. I originally thought that I would leave the cushion part and just put the fabric I chose over it, but after smelling it, I decided it was not a good decision. One of the chairs had some veneer missing, so I went to Home Depot and picked up this veneer edge banding to try something for the first time. I cut the veneer to fit the missing piece, and then I ironed it on to the parts that needed it. Once it was glued on, I used my dad's heavy-duty file and then I filed it down to just make it uniform and the shape that it needed to be to match the chair. And then came the degreasing. I used a degreaser, and after it dried, I sanded it down with a 220 grit sandpaper just very lightly, and I decided to use Dixie Belle's Voodoo Gel Stain in Tobacco Road. I really loved this color and I really wanted to darken the chair just a little bit. This is the foam we ended up choosing for the chair cushion. I took the plywood and I outlined the shape of it onto the foam to know where to cut. My mom and I were wondering what kind of tool we could use to cut the foam, and she came up with the brilliant idea of using an electric knife. Yes, the ones you use in the kitchen. You work smarter, not harder, am I right? But seriously, this electric knife cut the foam like butter. So this is the beautiful fabric I ended up choosing. I found it on Etsy in a fabric shop called The King's Fancy. I love the design and it really reminds me of the Art Nouveau style that I really love. The colors are most accurate in these clips, but in some they look a little more saturated because I do not have a really good camera. I just use my phone to film these videos. I ordered 3 yards of this fabric and then I cut a yard off to use for this cushion, and then I decided that it needed some ironing, so I went ahead and I ironed the yard that I cut before upholstering. Next step was reupholstering. So I actually did not film this part because I was so focused, and I actually ended up doing it all by myself. My mom just gave me some pointers, but we did have to end up cutting some of the edges off because it was too sharp, and putting more cushion on top would have been way too thick. So I did the edges all by myself. I'm pretty proud of myself because my mom's always the one that helps me with the edges, and I thought it turned out really well and I'm excited about it. So next I put the black mesh underneath, stapled that, and once that was all stapled and done, it was time to put it back on the chair. One thing I will add is you'll notice there's a small gap in between the cushion and the actual chair, and that's because the original chair had the fabric edging and this does not, and as long as it doesn't pinch anyone's thighs, I'm happy with it. So here's a clip of the new and improved chair next to one of the older chairs. I am so happy with how it turned out, and now I have 5 more to work on. So this was something new. I have never done something like this before, and I think I did pretty well for the first time ever working on a dining chair. When my mom saw the finished product, she told me that it reminds her of a grandma's house, but not in a bad way. It's a house that you walk into and you don't feel intimidated, and you feel cozy, like you're welcome, and you can stay and relax like a grandma's house. And that makes me so happy because I want my house to feel like that. And call it granny chic if you want, that's a compliment to me. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Remember to like this video, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment down below, and I hope to see you next time.